Yeah. This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Let's go.
Hi, friends.
Hello.
There was a fair bit of Melbourne Cup chatter today because Sean was in Melbourne once again, and then halfway through the show just headed off to Flemington.
Like a huge, big fat diva. So Steve Rosich tells me something interesting about the Roses I didn't know about. At
That's
Melbourne
right.
Cup.
He used to be the boss of Fremantle Football Club. These days, he heads up the Victorian Racing Club.
Yeah. Also, we talk about why people in Belia couldn't get to sleep the other night.
You'll hear some horror stories of things that went
these are
horribly
bad.
awry while travelling overseas.
Yeah, and I saw a sad man dressed as a cheerleader. So we talk about when you've been mortified by what you're wearing, where really he should have been so proud.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean.
It's really great news, actually. The former Perth veterinarian was kidnapped in the troubled African nation of Chad, has been released after 3 days in captivity. Wow.
Like being kidnapped in a foreign country, what a terrifying experience
And
for
not
him.
just that, he's over there working to reintroduce a species of desert antelope.
Yeah, he's
so
doing
something
amazing
really
work.
great. And
Yes.
at that time, he was abducted by some armed men. They said that Wadi Farah province has experienced organised crime and deadly violence on both sides of the border. So I'm guessing you're going over there and you've probably been warned about it. And
You think you would have
watch
a
out,
security detail, to be honest.
Yeah, watch out, you might get kidnapped.
Yeah.
I mean, would you go to if I said to you, Natalie, I need you to do a gig today, by the way, watch out, you might get kidnapped.
Well, if that was the case, I would have so much security, you'd think I was a Kardashian. Like, yeah, there's no way I would go without security if that was the case. Oh. But then you don't know, maybe the security have been paid off and they're going to kidnap you. You don't know. You don't know. You put your faith in people, don't you?
The dangers of working in another country.
Yeah.
I mean, that must be extreme.
Yeah.
For you to be offered a job and them to go, okay, but the asterisk is
Yes.
you could be trampled by a stampede of wild elephants, or
Yes.
you're going into a place which is rife with earthquakes.
Yeah. One of my friends was in India on a work trip,
Yeah.
and a driver was driving her out to the factory that did this work that the company did. And she, the car broke down, and she was just sitting in the back of her car on her phone, just being a businesswoman, that's what she does. And there were all these people yelling outside the car, and she didn't really think anything of it. The driver had gone in to see if there was a mechanic or something. And then the driver comes back and sort of gets in the car and says to her, take off all your jewellery, put it in your bag. And when we, and then we're going to get out of the car and we're going to run as fast as we can. You run right next to me to that building over there. And she's like, what's going on? He said, just do what I tell you. So they did that, and they get to this building, and she's like, what's the story? And he said, all that yelling of the people around your car, that was them arguing over who was going to get you, as in who was going to get the right
to get you.
And if that happened, you would never be found.
Wow.
Is what they said. And so then they had to wait for another driver to come from the major city to come and collect them because they said the head office said don't trust anybody that says turns up saying they're police. Trust nobody. You literally have to wait until we send somebody else. And after that, the company changed their protocols because she was put in so much danger. So never again was a single woman allowed to travel alone to visiting these factories. They had to go as part of a group.
Yeah. Well, I told you about my cousin who was she used to work in the military, and then she ended up doing private security in really dangerous areas. And she was working over in Iraq, and she was at the compound where they worked. And then she didn't tell us this story until she got home.
No, of course
she didn't
not.
want anybody to worry. But as she was walking, she sees a red dot on her chest and realises that someone's got a gun on her. And they've said in that scenario, just walk calmly.
Yes.
So she had to walk, and she reckons it was the longest walk of her
course.
life, walk all the way through this compound, like a big open area until she got to a door. Whereas I would have been like, and she'd been like zigzagging and rolling on the ground. She had to walk very calmly.
Played with the laser like a cat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Get the jump on summer and check out whatif.com for amazing getaways.
Aussies just know how to summer. It's in our DNA. Bring it on. Book your accommodation, flights, car hire and more all on the What If app. What if? It's Aussie for travel.
At the moment, we're talking about the things that can happen that you're warned about when you're working overseas. Like the poor vet who was doing great work in the country of Chad in Africa, kidnapped. then released 3 days later, thankfully.
And they're saying like that place is like super dangerous and
Kidnappy.
He's so kidnappy, and he would have been warned about that beforehand.
Yeah.
And be like, well, does the antelope really need my help?
And I know, and when you're like a super whitey and you turn up in an African country, they're like, you're an obvious target. Yes.
Oh,
I can see you coming a mile away.
Kylie's in Rockingham. Hi, Kai.
Hi, how you going?
Well, Kylie. All right,
Okay.
so we're talking about being warned about where you're going to be working overseas. What happened?
Okay, so a friend of mine and I, we were backpacking back in 1991.
Yes.
We were quite young. We went all around Europe and America and Asia and stuff. Anyway, we were in Europe and we scored these sort of dodgy tickets from some other people that were travelling for the train. So we got on this train. There was a bit of language barrier, but anyway, we got on this train and we ended up in Yugoslavia.
Yes.
In Zagreb, either Zagreb or Belgrade. We went to both places. We were locked up taken off the train. We were locked up in a refugee hotel.
What?
As such.
Because you didn't have the right papers, or what was the issue back then? This is obviously a while ago.
Yeah, I think because we just, it was really hard because we'd bought these dodgy tickets for a start.
Okay.
We were trying, as far as I can remember, we were trying to get to Greece.
Right. So you've transited through what was then Yugoslavia, and without the right permit by the sound of it.
Oh my God! Firstly, what are you doing buying dodgy tickets for over there? I get all of my tickets from Ticketmaster. So you're in some refugee hotel camp situation.
Yes, and then we were locked there, and then the next day we were placed back on a train.
Yes.
And we were whisked away again. Yeah. But we discovered also that our visas had run out I think we were trying to get to Hungary. Our visas had run out. They also locked us up on the train station with multiple other people, with armed guards. And then we were also placed back on another train to go back the way we came.
I mean, you did get to travel all over Europe. Let's look on the bright side here. Mostly under armed guard, though.
And then that night, we kept our passports and things in a bum bag, always on us.
Yes.
But we were so exhausted, fell asleep, and I woke up to some guy rummaging through my bum bag on my body.
Yes.
Ripping out everything, and he stole whatever I had. And then we just ended up sitting in the street crying, but we had to go to
And this is before you could just email your mum and dad for more money, because it's a long time ago.
And then we had to go to the Australian Embassy to get some money. They lent us some money to keep going.
You know what? I love it when all you can do is sit in the street and cry.
Not really even sure where you are.
Just hoping to God that someone will help.
Thank you, Carly. Maybe stay home from now on, I'm just saying. Kendall, hello.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Kendall. So we're talking about the dangers of working overseas. What happened?
So, a similar story. I wasn't necessarily working, but I was backpacking. I've been living in London. We sort of scored some travel expo tickets to Egypt with some people I was working with. We were in Egypt, and we'd sort of been, I can't remember exactly where. I think we were in Cairo at this point, so the main sort of city. And we were on a train heading out to, it was an overnight sort of stay that we're going to do, so it was the next day by this point. And we the train stopped, and we were sort of all just sitting around waiting, kind of looking to our tour guide, trying to work out, we just assumed they'd stopped to pick somebody up. But we stopped for quite some time, and we started getting messages that, we just have to wait. There's an accident or something that's happened on the train ahead. And before we knew it, we were getting escorted off the train onto armed militant, big trucks. Had these armed guards with massive machine guns.
And were they baddies or were they like the army?
Well, this is the thing. If it wasn't for our tour guide, we wouldn't have known the difference. There wasn't, because again, language barrier was there. And luckily, as I said, we did have a tour guide who assured us that it was all okay. But there was a few of us that were looking around saying, should we call our parents?
Yes, should we call our parents?
To say goodbye.
This might be it.
To say goodbye.
Yeah, should we be calling some... Yeah, because this was a few years ago, so we're pretty young, but so it was a very interesting turn of events.
So why was it happening?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, so again, we didn't even really get a full story.
So you don't know? So you've never known?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, so apparently what actually happened was there was like a derailing of the train, and they just weren't. They weren't sure though that it wasn't a local kind of conflict that had actually caused the derail, and so due to safety reasons, they did actually, escort us. But I mean, there's a difference between kind of being escorted and put on some, but where the train had. Yeah, exactly. But apparently where the train had derailed was one of the most dangerous places in Cairo.
Oh, great. Great.
Can I just say, from speaking to you and Kylie, I only know one thing. Do not catch a train overseas.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
No, this is a time for play. Although, I caught trains all through Italy and my friend caught a train to join us from Switzerland. It was amazing. So clean and lovely.
I've caught trains since. I have caught trains since. It didn't scar me completely. But, yeah, maybe not in Egypt and maybe not in that other place.
Yeah, through the former Yugoslavia.
Yeah. Okay, well, they're
amazing.
Disturbing tales.
Yeah, aren't they?
13, 24, 10.
We are looking for the dangers of working overseas, but if it was just while you were backpacking or whatever, then we're bang up for it. We don't mind.
But I would love to hear from somebody that has actually, gotten given a job, and then before you left, they said, "Oh, by the way,
here's an information sheet with all the things you should do."
When you hear run.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We are discussing the things that can go horribly awry when you're working overseas.
Yeah, like, getting kidnapped when you're trying to help desert antelopes.
Laura's in Kareen. Good morning, Laura.
Morning.
Hi, Laura.
Kareen, very safe place, but where wasn't so much?
I went up to Papua New Guinea for work, and I was told that before we went I would be the only female on the trip, and so I wasn't that bothered, and we went. When we got to the airport, they gave you a code that you had to tell the driver. So the whole time you were there, you had to tell the driver. The driver would then radio ahead and say this person was on board in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Yes.
The hotel was completely armed guarded, so you couldn't leave the hotel at any time. And then, there was loads of horror stories. Like they said if the vehicle rolls or is involved in an accident, jump into the driver's seat and there's an alarm under the steering wheel.
Wow.
Make sure you don't open the doors, keep the doors locked because the car will get looted. Because there was loads of things, and it was just, very intense. Like even everyone at the hotel, all the maids, everyone was all male. I was the only female in the whole vicinity. Like everyone serving the drinks. It was just more intense than I actually thought it would be. I mean,
how long were you there for, Laura?
I think it was about 3 or 4 days, and it was on conference, and it was just intense.
Laura, can I just say, right? So I was expecting someone to say, we worked in New Zealand and were told to look out for earthquakes. One thing, when you're being told many many things, that must be so hard to concentrate on what they're saying. When someone's giving you a lot of information, you just nod your head.
It's a really long list.
I mean, when I was younger, I backpacked through Russia and China, so I'm quite.
You were world
really
wise.
I wasn't really that worried. I was like, it can't be worse than Moscow. But it was. It was just very eye-opening. It was a very cool experience, but I was very happy to get back to Australia.
It's a weird place, PNG, because the baddies are called rascals. They're literally, what's
and that
the
makes them sound like, good old-fashioned funsters.
Scamps. I know. They're not. They're very nasty people.
They're going to toilet paper your house. That's insane. Imagine, and your refuge is your hotel room, in which you would think while you're there you still want to barricade it closed with the bed.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Laura. Vicky, hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hey, Vic, we're great.
What have you got for us?
Well, quite a few years ago now, back in the day, I worked on private yachts with my husband over in America.
Yes.
And his late father was a big political rival to Fidel Castro.
Oh, correct.
So if Fidel Castro ever basically met us or the yacht or anyone, we'd all be shot. And we all went down to Aruba. And we were based there for quite a while. And when we were having to head back, because of the weather, my husband, who was the captain, who basically made all the decisions, said, look, we're not going to be able to go through the Bahamas going back or to get up to the Bahamas. We're not going to be able to go around Puerto Rico. We need to go kind of right through the middle of Haiti and Cuba And I just said, but what if something happens and we lose engines and we need help and we've got the choice between Cuba to rescue us or Haiti? Surely all of them will shoot us dead. So there's panic for the whole time, for the whole cruise back. I think it took about 3 or 4 days. As soon as we got in the middle, and I've got the binoculars, and I can see Cuba on one side, Haiti on the other, going, please,
just close your eyes.
Let us get through this gap.
Please, let us get through this
we made it. But it was the scariest time of my life.
Oh.
And we actually went on holiday to Cuba as well, and there was actually pictures on the wall of stories about how a son of this person had been born in Miami. So he was so well known that we just got told by my boss, don't tell anyone who you work for when you go over there.
What?
So scary.
I love that you still chose to go on holidays to Cuba. That's amazing.
I know. Well, we did. My parents were over there on holiday from England, and I was like, well, we're in the Bahamas. We're really close. Let's just go.
Yeah, and not mention that other guy ever. God. Amazing. Thank you, Vicky.
Let's go to Teresa and Dalkeith. Hey, Teresa.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Good, Teresa.
Right,
you're
Teresa.
finishing us off, Teresa, and you're making us all terrified to go overseas.
What have you
Brilliant.
got for us?
I have a similar story to Carly, I think it was. So I was travelling when I was 18 through backpacking with a girlfriend through Europe, and we will be smart. We'll buy first-class train tickets so we don't have any problems with pickpocketing or anything like that. And then we were travelling through Yugoslavia. I can't remember where we were going. It was so friggin' long ago. And they stopped the train, and then they pulled us off out of first class, and we what's going on? Here's our tickets. And they're going, no, these aren't valid here. And we're like, but it says here. And he says, no, you have to buy new tickets.
Oh.
So we had no choice.
Sounds like a scam, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. It really does. But we got dragged out of first class, and then we got thrown back into, with everyone else, not being rude, but, there was all the gypsies and things like that there. And you were just all squished up. And it was just awful. And then we were sleeping on our backpacks and whatever. And all of a sudden I woke up because I felt something. And this guy had slipped my bag open, and then he's holding this knife at me, and I just start screaming, and he just jumps off the train. He just presses the button and jumps off the train in the middle of the night, and it was just like, oh my gosh! And this was just near the beginning of our holiday. I was like, oh my gosh, what else is going to happen here? This is just crazy.
Luckily, you live in the safety of Dalkeith now, Teresa.
Exactly. That's why I moved here, and I just hide myself and lock myself.
Wow, I don't think a person in Dalkeith has ever caught the train.
No. It's
you should tell this tale to all the people.
I know, they'll be amazed.
In their BMNs. Hey, no, Mercedes, stop. You in the Bentley.
Thanks, Teresa.
I've got a tale for you about a train.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean.
I just want to give a shout out to some of the residents of Beelia. They had a real hard time getting to sleep the other night because allegedly there was a man on the roof of a house just chucking tiles at people.
Oh, no, Nathan.
It started at 8:20 p.m. on Sunday and he didn't get down until 1:45 a.m.
And presumably the cops were there trying to talk him down and everything.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're
And
trying to go to sleep.
And tiles are just flying everywhere, hitting people's things, like smashing windows. But, okay, so imagine you're one of the houses around there, right? Then imagine that's your house.
Yes.
Imagine that's your house.
That's right.
Think of those annoying things that's been on your roof, and now think about that.
And then you've just got to pray that it doesn't rain immediately because the's no tiles on your roof anymore.
Can you be the type of person who just goes, oh, bugger it, the cops have got this covered, I'm out of here, and you just drive off?
Or what, just try and
or
sleep?
you just go to sleep.
Or try to go to sleep.
Just put your AirPods in and go to sleep.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Just put a podcast on.
The house is surrounded.
Would you be like, why my house? Can you not just jump over next door?
I'd imagine you would have been screaming and yelling too, apart from flinging tiles at everyone.
And
too,
then
so-
also afterwards...
That's not something you do silently.
Then
I don't
also
think so.
afterwards, if your tiles are a bit dated,
Yes.
how are you going to match them?
Yeah, that's
do
right.
Do they have like
That would keep you awake at night, Nathan.
That would upset me. Because then I'm thinking, okay, if I don't want my tiles to look stupid, now I'm going to have to retile the whole thing.
I've never been more grateful to have a tin roof, to be honest.
Tin roof, rusted. Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Anyway, so we're thinking of you.
Thoughts and prayers.
Surrounding houses, but really the house that
If
was
it's
at
your
ground
house.
zero.
Of a siege.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Yesterday, of course, was Halloween.
Love it.
Love Halloween. I know all
Yeah,
these
it's me.
people that go, oh, it's an American thing. Shut up.
It
It's a bit
it
of
doesn't
fun.
hurt anyone. And it's an older tradition than America, so it goes.
Yeah, and it's gathering momentum.
Yeah,
it's gathering momentum. Everyone's enjoying it now, and there's so many people, houses and families who put in an effort.
Yes,
they don't do it for themselves; they do it for the community, which is awesome.
And these days, if you don't want to be involved, you just don't put a pumpkin on the letterbox, and nobody knocks on your door. It's not a problem. Yep. You don't have to be a part of it. You're not being forced to against your will. So relax,
chill out, everybody.
Let the kids have some fun.
So I went down to Coles in Inglewood yesterday, and when I was leaving the supermarket, something caught my eye. That I really enjoy.
I'm sexy. I'm cute. I'm popular.
I love cheerleaders.
I'm bitchin'.
You've always said that.
The boys all love to
What do I love
share.
more than a cheerleader? A man dressed as a cheerleader. So there was a guy standing just outside.
As long as it's not Jerry from Cheer.
Yeah.
Keep going. He ruined it for everybody.
Grab the kids and run. So it was a guy, big hulking guy as well, dressed as a cheerleader. And he had his back turned and he's sort of like facing the fence. And you could see that he was embarrassed and there was shame about him. It was like he was trying to hide, but it's like, well, you're a cheerleader from the whole way around. You're a cheerleader 360 degrees around.
Yes.
So turning's not going to stop us.
I mean, it stops you from seeing his face and going, oh, there's Jeff.
Yes. And he had his phone in one hand. He had both his pom-poms in his other hand. Sheepishly standing in the corner on the phone, quite loudly saying, "Where are you guys? I'm at the Inglewood. I can't find anyone." So I'm pretty sure that his work was having a party. And
he's at the wrong place.
Dressed as a cheerleader.
And I'm guessing he probably got dropped off. So I'm thinking it might have been the pub down the road. So then he'd have to do the walk of shame down Beaufort Street.
As a cheerleader.
Don't
be ashamed. Like, you've just got to have to embrace it. And like, you would just do a little bit of pom-pom action on your way there.
I'm popular.
Oh, yeah, the only way you can do. Yeah, you got to own it.
You got it.
Otherwise,
You're in too deep at that point. You might as well.
You're invested too much.
Just embrace it.
And then there was a story, this Canadian woman, she's rocked up to her workplace thinking, of course, Halloween, everyone gets involved. And there's a TikTok video of her sitting in a boardroom and she's and the video camera goes all the way around. There's business suit, power suit, business suit, shirt and tie, business suit, very serious meeting. And then the camera pans to her and she's dressed as LEG.
Keep it real.
She said when you're the only person to take Halloween seriously in your office, as you can see, this is a very serious meeting. And then this guy on his comments, on the comments says, I once did a 6-hour shift in a large department store dressed as Kermit the Frog. No one else dressed up. So imagine just one person being Kermit. But you can be mortified by what you're wearing, not only when you're being caught out in fancy dress.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a fancy dress thing, does
but
it?
also, Sean, today.
I've been mortified the last couple of days because I wanted to bring over a suit with a tie and all that kind of stuff for Melbourne Cup. But my wife had bought me for Father's Day a spring suit, a real spring hot summery suit for Melbourne Cup.
Very thin.
And of course today,
very thin. Yeah.
Very thin, very flowery.
Yeah.
And today it is, well, at the moment it's like 11.5 degrees and it looks like it's going to rain all day.
Yeah.
It's going to be freezing. I'm mortified. I'm showing my ankles.
Sean's
Just
showing
been a real
his
hussy.
ankles.
And they're very sexy ankles.
Sean's on the hunt now for the no sock rule, and I've assured him that there is a rule that means that you can't get into some of the. You can be in the general public without socks on, but they've really.
You can be in the members.
Yeah, but I'm
I
pretty
hope
sure
so.
that,
I hope so. So that's just the no sock rule on your feet. The socks in your pants rule. That's still okay.
That's still fine, Sean.
Yeah.
The
cool.
2 pairs of footy socks you wear down there.
Yeah.
So Sean will be mortified this afternoon by what he has on.
That's right, just because it's inappropriate for the weather.
The way it looks, because you can pass that. It's going to be the way it feels, Sean.
That's right.
Nathan, Nat and Sean in podcast form.
We're talking about being mortified by what you're wearing. It could be fancy dress.
Yes.
Maybe you got arrested in your 90.
It happens. Colleen,
That
hello.
does happen.
Hi there.
Hi, Colleen.
When
What happened?
when I started dating my boyfriend, we just started going out, and his mate was having a 30th birthday party on a party bus, and I hadn't really met his friends before, and he told me that the theme was pimps and ladies of the night.
Oh.
So, of course, I love dressing up. I went all out. Everything was hanging out. When we got to the bus,
It turns out the theme was actually cowboys and cowgirls. And
Oh my God!
everyone was in jeans and flannels and cowboy hats.
And this is the first time you're meeting these
absolutely
people.
Mortified. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, do you stay in what you were wearing, Colleen, or do you go? Oh no, I've got to zip off.
No, I was absolutely fuming. I made us go home and change.
Colleen. I know what to pass the rumour and going, oh no, she didn't know it was fancy dresses, just
Yeah,
her
that's
clothes.
just what she wears.
She's come from work. She's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
Colleen,
well.
there's an Indians. and you were
Cowboys and cowgirls.
Cowboys
Cowgirls.
and cowgirls, and you were dressed as a lady of the
Oh,
night.
Great work. Thanks,
with
Colleen.
everything hanging.
Lyndall's in Greenwood. Morning, Lyndall.
Hi, how are you today?
Good.
Lyndall.
Lyndall.
Okay, when were you mortified by what you were wearing?
Well, so yesterday it was Halloween. I work in a children's hospital in administration, and I thought that more people would dress up. So I dressed up as an inflatable unicorn for the day.
Yes.
So that went down mostly well. It is very hot in a blow-up unicorn, which I didn't really factor in.
Yes.
Yes.
And in the afternoon, I went downstairs on our ground floor, and I managed to scare children rather than give them, something nice to see. Most of them were a bit scared when I turned around and waved to them. Not exactly the
That wasn't what you were
idea I
going
was going for.
Yeah.
Lyndall, I think when attempting to go to a workplace dressed in uniform, it's always good to bring a change of clothes. You did not do that, did you?
No, I did,
Oh, good.
You were just
but
committed.
by the end of the day, I'd broken the zip on it, so I was kind of stuck in it.
Just Lyndall's
choice. Love
terrifying a bunch of sick children. It's nothing to see here.
Yeah, because what they're seeing is this sweaty woman just trying to cling for life in a giant inflatable unicorn. So I can see
Thanks,
how that could be
Lyndall.
disturbing.
All right, let's hear more of these, please. 13 24 10. Have you been completely mortified by what you're wearing?
Yes. Maybe your kids got home early and you were wearing the harness that your wife gave you.
Oh,
Sean?
someone else has
It
been
happens.
caught out
Sean?
It's not just
On
me
that,
then. Oh,
Sean's
good.
got a story up next.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
We're discussing when you realised that what you were wearing was highly inappropriate for the situation for one reason or another.
Hello, Kiri.
Hi, how are you going?
Great.
Good, Kerry.
Okay, so what happened?
So my mum had a fantastic fancy dress 50th birthday party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone went all out. So when her best friend decided to have a Hawaiian-themed 50th herself, my mum was just going to go in a Hawaiian shirt and be really boring. But we were like, no, she went all out for your birthday. You have to do the same.
Yeah.
So my mum ran down to Spotlight and she ended up creating her own costume where she was a virgin sacrifice in a volcano.
Oh, wow.
That's
That is-
extra.
Oh,
I couldn't just be a dancing lay girl doing the hula.
yeah.
She had some cellophane flames around her and all out when she arrived. No one was dressed up. Everyone was just in a Hawaiian t-shirt.
They were just drinking
Oh,
fancy cocktails.
Hawaiian virgin sacrifice.
Oh,
And they're like, look, who is this thirsty woman that wants all the attention? Let's sacrifice her.
yeah, that's
He was mortified. He was very angry at me for convincing her to dress
Kiri,
up.
that's
I
so
know,
funny.
I know. And you realise you've gone way too much effort in a party and which
Yeah.
includes you surrounded by cellophane.
Yeah. I bet
Because
you
you know
look
what?
great, though.
Cellophane, you can hear you coming.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. As everybody else at the party shuffles away. Thanks, Kiri. Liz, hello.
Hi, how you going, guys?
Hey,
When
Good,
were
Liz.
you mortified by what you were wearing, Liz?
Well, let me just paint the scene. It's the beginning of summer, so I'm reasonably white and unladyscaped.
Sure.
And I thought I'd get some sun in my own backyard, in the privacy of my own backyard. So I'm wearing the tiniest bikini, known to mankind, that I would never wear in public.
No.
Yep.
Anyway,
But you're in your own yard. That's fine.
Exactly. It's just me and the dogs. Husband's out the front, and I hear this almighty screaming, and I go out. He's had an accident with the angle grinder and nearly chopped his leg off.
Oh.
So there's blood everywhere, and I'm like, oh my God, it's okay. It's just a scratch. I'll just go get a Band-Aid, calling the ambulance.
And a robe.
Well, I didn't even get that. I sort of went into,
Panic mode.
overdrive
Yes.
mode.
Yeah.
So then I called 3 intensive care paramedics, came within not even 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're helping, we're cleaning him up, and they'd been there for a good 10 or 15 minutes. And then at that point I realised holy crap, I'm still in the bikini.
Oh, Liz.
Nothing. Like I'd been bending over.
Oh, honey. Did the paramedics use the angle grinder on your bikini line?
It was bad. I don't know to burn their eyes.
I think what that does is show how much you love your husband, that you did not, that your first thought was not, oh my God, I've got to go and get dressed. I don't care how hurt he is. You actually tended to him. So that looks good.
What a lovely woman.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A lot of wives wouldn't.
I have to say, I would get dressed. I don't care if they were bleeding out. I don't care if I look at them, I thought, okay, they've got 10 seconds less and my robe is 8 seconds away. I'll go get the robe.
That's because Liz loves her husband more.
I know, I don't get that.
Well, you don't have a partner.
No.
Maybe that's the link.
Oh, wow. Sean, that was a bit deep and cutting.
Gee, Sean. God. Hey, Sean, here I was minding my business. Wow, Melbourne's made you harsher,
You're pretty bloody blunt about it, were you?
Jeez. Okay, everyone.
Straight to the point.
That's what we're doing there. All right, Sean, we've got something to give away.
Yeah, the U+3 mates to check out the rooftop movies with Nathan.
He'll be there on his own.
I'll be there on my own because I don't have a partner. So, actually, you know what? I should just make it only single people can come. Actually, bring 3 single mates, please.
That's a great idea.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Johnny Mac is Flemington bound as we speak, but a little earlier this morning, we recorded this.
Well, we're heading to Melbourne again, guys, because the Melbourne Cup is just hours away as we speak. The boss of the Victorian Racing Club is Steve Rosich, who used to be my old boss at the Dockers. Good morning, Steve.
Great to talk to the old crew, Macca.
Yeah, good to have you on, Steve.
Fantastic to hear from you guys, particularly on Cup Day. So the crowd is streaming here in at Flemington. It's currently Perth weather. Hopefully that'll continue. We'll wait.
Oh, Steve, I think you might be dreaming. Sean, as you know, really feels the cold, and he's off to the Cup today, and his wife has packed him a summer linen suit. How do you think that's going to go?
He's a fine-looking young man. I'm sure he'll look absolutely strapping, but he is batting well above his average, so no doubt Megan will look far better.
I can already see what's going to happen with Sean, right? Because Sean never picks a winner, and if he does pick a winner, something goes wrong.
Yes.
So I can see Sean, you're going to have a winning ticket in your hand, and it's going to be a downfall.
Yes.
and then
a gust of wind,
and it's going to get wet, and it's going to just dissolve in your hand.
I can see that happening.
Wash your mouth out. It's going to be spectacular weather here at Flemington. So
are the roses out, Steve? The roses out?
They are, Nat. It's hard to believe. 17,000 roses. And they're looking super. And there's a little known fact. So Luke Ryan, fantastic Fremantle player, his dad, Nick Ryan, is the head keeper here of the Roses. So,
is that right?
It is. And so it's a strong Freo flavour here at Flemington, and Nick's done a super job to get those roses up and about, given that it hasn't exactly been spring weather in the lead-in here.
Hey, is there someone on Rose Patrol to make sure people don't drunkenly flog the roses?
You're allowed to do that, actually. So,
there you go.
So you can claim a rose.
Take
Sean
your
can come on off and
secateurs,
put it on his lapel today.
Oh, how interesting.
That is, Steve. So you excited, mate? Over the last couple of years, obviously, we haven't had crowds because of COVID, and this is probably the first big year that people, and, you know, everyone from over WA, I've been walking down the streets, heaps of people from the West over to be a part of the whole Spring Carnival.
It is. It's a great influx. It's hard to believe about a third of the attendees across the carnival come across from outside of Victoria, other states, overseas. So there's a real vibrancy about it. It is a major event. It's my third year here at the VRC. First carnival across the Melbourne Cup Carnival, no crowds last year, restricted 35. So it was a tough start, but super excited.
You joined at just the right time, didn't you, Steve? Just nailed it.
Oh, look, well, it is what it is, isn't it? It's been unprecedented.
Yes.
But it's been so good that racing has continued, and interest in racing has even increased. And the big days at Flemington are really sought after. There'll be a great crowd on track today as there was on Derby Day on Saturday with over 71,000, around about that, or maybe even more today, depending on the weather, and lots of interest around the country. 1 in 2 Australians will participate in the race today in some shape or form. It's unbelievable.
That's an amazing
and you know what the worst thing is, Steve, is you would know this. Now that you're living in Victoria, you get the public holiday over in WA. We never got it, but most people take the day off anyway, don't they? Let's be fair.
Well, it really is an unofficial public holiday in other states, isn't it, Sean? And it's a for sure uncertain one here. So everyone's super excited about that. And just looking around me now, and you can hear a bit of the background noise, just the crowd is streaming in. So everything's looking picturesque. Bit worried that it might close in a little bit later, but hopefully it'll at least wait until our feature race, the 162nd running of the Lexus Melbourne Cup at 3 p.m. is run and won.
Steve, I know that you're all about the racing, but does the fashion play any importance to you? Did you pick your suit? Did you have a discussion on what you're going to wear?
Mel would be all over this, surely.
Well, she focuses on herself, Sean, and she's been doing a super job. I'm actually, Nathan, in traditional wear today, the morning suit, which is traditional for both Derby Day and Cup Day.
Yes.
So, I mean, it is easier for us gents, unless you go the linen number like Sean is, to go standard. But the 60 years of Myer Fashions in the Field is being celebrated this year. It is the largest festival fashion event in the world.
Wow.
And more contests again today, and that'll unfold over the week. And when you're on course, Sean, today, I know you're probably in the best seats of the house knowing you, but make sure you get around. There's lots happening on course, lots of entertainment out the back on the park, a bit of hot tub time machine if that's your go.
Nice.
But make sure you're around the mounting yard and tuned in for the pre-cup, because I got the chance to see a bit of a rehearsal yesterday and it was superb. Colin Hay from Men at Work fame does an amazing job, and Cody Simpson, the swimmer athlete, can sing, and he's singing the national anthem, and then Shepherd performing post-cup. So there's lots going on apart from 10 great races.
Yeah, you're mistaken though. He's not singing the national anthem. He's swimming the national anthem. But that's
it's a particular skill set.
Hey Steve, one thing being in the AFL for so long as you were running Freo, I was thinking. So Freo and AFL clubs pretty big, $80 million to $100 million turnover a year. What kind of vicinity does money comes through, Racing Victoria? It seems like it's triple that, if not more.
Well, here at the Victoria Racing Club, we're very lucky. We have Flemington, we have the Melbourne Cup Carnival, we control our own TV rights, and you'll see that play out today on Network 10. So it's a big business, and it reinvests back into racing in our club. So it's around about $225 million turnover, and an economic contribution from these 4 days in the state of Victoria is approaching $500 million.
And that's just from Megan McManus shopping. So that's quite amazing.
Exactly.
It's quite amazing.
Exactly. Someone was saying there's been 6,500 dresses sold in the last 2 weeks in Melbourne in anticipation for these 4 days.
Yeah, and guaranteed 4,500 of them will be ruined by this afternoon.
That's right, exactly. They will never be worn again.
Oh, well, Steve, it's going to be an absolute cracking day. I hope you really, really enjoy it, as I will, going to my first ever Melbourne Cup, but plenty of West Australians getting over there and getting around it as well.
They are, including the West Coast Eagles CEO Trevor Nisbet's in town, so I heard he was out and about, and Freo legends like yourself, Sean. So lots of West Australians on course, always super to see.
Good on you, Steve.
Good on you, Steve.
Thanks,
we'll have a great day, mate.
Hope everyone has a great day, and tune in at the very least at Network 10 from 2 p.m. for all the pre-cup action, and then gates open in the great race at 3 p.m.
A bit earlier here in WA, Steve.
Well, I should say that, shouldn't I? 3 hours behind. Well done, that.
How you've changed. How you've changed, Steve. Interesting.
Good on you, Steve. Thanks.
Enjoy the day.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
That's the way it's gonna be.
Johnny Mac.
We are from the horse this morning. We're catching up with David Shortte from Tabtouch, and Shorty's got all the info about all the big bets as usual for Melbourne Cup. Looking forward to hearing from him. Morning, Shorty.
G'day, Sean. G'day, Nathan. Nat. How are you guys?
Oh my God, can I just say...
We're just laughing at Sean being in the car, on the phone, on the way to the track.
And listening to you two on the phone, I feel like I've got one of those crosswires where you pick up your phone and you're hearing someone else's conversation.
No, I got to tell you this though. I had an Uber booked 7:30, and I was looking out the window. He was there, and I went out to the elevator at the place in Melbourne, and I jumped in, and the doors. It seemed like the elevator wasn't going anywhere, so I worked out that you have to have a card to be able to get down to the bottom floor. So I ran to the fire escape, and it was going down the stairs, and then I couldn't get out of the fire escape.
Hey, Sean.
I mean, that doesn't seem very fire safe to me.
The year that Casey Donovan won the won Australian Idol, right? I was over there for for a thing, and then they said that you needed to get ID because I had full-on security at the Sydney Opera House. So I ran, I caught the elevator up, and then the elevator had broken down, so they said you have to catch the stairs, take the stairs down. But there was the stairs wouldn't unlock from inside, so I was stuck there for 2 hours in the stairwell. 2 hours. I wish that you missed Melbourne Cup that way. That would be so brilliant.
Oh, God. Anyway,
we've got Shorty.
Cup's upon us there, Shorty. What have you got for us? What's going on? What do you like?
Well, guys, one thing I will say, I hope our horses get a much clearer run than the pair of you have had over the last little bit anyway. So Uber's at a premium too, Sean, so I hope he waited for you downstairs.
No, nicked off. I've got another one coming.
Hopefully it gets there soon. Look, a great day of racing to look forward to. It's a really unique Melbourne Cup. We've been used to having a truckload of international raiders come across for the Cup in recent times. That's not as highly populated with overseas gallopers this time around. That said, the top couple in betting are from Europe. The favourites are warm favourites, been really well backed. The only runner in single figures. It comes with a lot of X factor. We speak of Deauville Legend. It's had the 7 starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds. All the lead-up form's really good, and plenty of punters happy to suggest that we can have our first favourite salute since way back in 2013. So the favourite winning, it's a little bit like that library book I forgot to take back in year 3. It's long overdue to arrive today.
Hey, Shorty, are there any horses from, I don't know, somewhere like Alaska who would be used to the conditions that are going to be around today?
Well, not quite Alaska. Mel sounds like a horse from Scotland. You'd think they'd be nice and hardy with these sort of conditions, and it goes around for Gay Waterhouse today. She's got a couple of cup runners. She was a classic. She had a press conference yesterday with a very crowded media gallery. She got towards the end and she said, "Are you all finished? I've got 100 owners coming to my place. I've got to get home and tart myself up, so I've got to chuff off now." She's an absolute ripper, Gay Waterhouse. So that was great. Good luck to Gay today. My on-top pick in the race is another of the European runners. I'm going with number 6, Without a Fight. This horse comes in with excellent claims. It's got great form, 17 starts, 7 wins, 7 placings. So really consistent type. I thought at the double figure odds it was worth a little spec. The danger is Deauville Legend. Outside of those, at the bottom, horse number 24, Realm of Flowers, gets in with just 50 kilograms. It's been placed its last couple. It can play a part. And we love a WA angle. I'm going to throw one in at big odds. Number 11, Young Werther. Star WA jockey Damien Lane takes the ride here. I think this horse can absolutely outrun its odds this afternoon. It's around $41. It's worth having a couple of bucks each way, I think, at the big odds. Number 11, Young Werther.
Shorty, is today's conditions, would they be the worst that the Cup has seen in recent years?
It's hard to know. Shawnee Mack might be a better judge than us. So I've listened to a few previews this morning, and the really nasty stuff hasn't arrived yet, but Melbourne can really turn it on quite quickly. So it's a little bit of an unknown at this stage. The track's a soft 5. I think most racing pundits were expecting the track to be much worse in the heavy rain. So at this stage, the track's looking okay around the soft. So you're not looking for the complete snorkel and flipper job at this point, but it might change as the day goes on. We'll have to wait and see. If it was to get really, really damp, there's a couple of horses that love it on the real slop, and one of those is Stockman. He'd come right into it if the rain really came quite heavy. He's at a big price and could play a part, and High Emotion is another that really likes the heavy ground, but we'll wait and see. Sean, what's it looking like there at the moment?
Yeah, it's overcast at the moment, Shorty, but I'm kind of with you. There's a couple of beeps going past. But Night Sword is the other one that likes the wet conditions. They reckon it's going to rain around here around 1, so that's about 10 o'clock Perth time. So we'll have to wait and see if that eventuates.
Yeah,
the weather changes in a heartbeat over here.
Yeah, it does. I'm just on the bomb app for you there, Sean. And at 3 p.m, which is, when the Cup jumps, it's they're saying it's going to be 13 degrees. It's going to feel like it's 9, and they are saying rain at that stage, but not overly heavy.
Yeah. And they do prefer to be called the Bureau now, Natalie.
No, they said they don't care anymore. They changed their mind.
Hey, Shorty, while we've got you, is there any people running with a whole heap of doubles that go in? Because people like to have these pre-post bets. Is anyone running for some big money to win the Melbourne Cup today?
Yeah, look, certainly it's a shocking result. The fave with us, Deauville Legend. It's been backed at much bigger prices on the way down. So it's been very, very popular and a lot of doubles on the way through. If you're looking for a couple of bets outside of the main race today, Shawnee Mac, I think you can get a few drinks out of race 8, number 10, Moonamek, around that $5.50 range. Looks really well placed. And earlier in the day, one of Paddy Payne's horses, race 4, number 12, Quong Try. They're the two horses outside of the Cup that I've had a bit of a flutter on. Big day out at Ascot today as well. In the Burgess Queen, one of the most talented horses we've seen in WA for a really long time, by the name of Amelia's Jewel, goes around. She's a really short price favourite, around $1.60 to take out the feature race, but that'll be the highlight out there at Ascot later on today, where there'll be a massive crowd. And I thought race 7, number 6, No Dice, could be a good play. Now, Nathan and Nat, I love getting your Cup day each year when I speak to you.
Yes.
Who have you either drawn in the sweep that we can cheer for, or who have you had a little flutter on for today?
Haven't gotten into the sweep yet, so...
and I will not insult the industry by betting on a horse. So I did... Young Werther stuck out for me because I thought it looked like it's spelt weather, and then I thought it should have been called Bad Werther. But then, straight away, I mean, it's only because I drive on it so much. Grand Promenade jumped out at me as well.
Sure.
I don't think it's going to go well.
For the Dianella locals.
For the Dianella locals,
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a smoky. Somebody like Tralee Rose, and only because I've been to Tralee and it's delightful.
Yep.
So I'm all about that.
Shawnee Mac, who's your money on?
Well, I'm kind of thrown in the one at odds there. Young Werther with Nathan just pulled up there, but I'm going to play that with a couple of the favourites and the one that you had off number 6 straight off the bat as well there, Shorty. That'll be the go. Mum, for instance, she always backs Gay's horses, so she's certainly with Who You Mel and Knight's Order as two horses in her quartet.
Hey, Shorty, we might actually get your opinion on something. Sean's a bit worried because I threw a spanner in the works. Sean, today, his ensemble, he's not wearing socks, and I have been led to believe that some of the fancy areas like the birdcage, if Sean is hoping to get in, require socks. Can you confirm?
I would have a pair of socks in my back pocket just in case, Nathan. On the Uber drive on the way in, Shawnee Mac, just wheel into one of those fine establishments and see if you can't find a pair of socks. Nathan could well have just got you your get-out-of-jail-free card by getting some socks. There'd be nothing worse than getting an invite to one of the big marquees and flashing with the hobnobs and being denied entry minus
What about Shorty? Would Sean McManus Fremantle Dockers socks suffice? Because he's got a heap of those.
Yeah, no one wants to buy them, so I've got plenty of them around.
At the very least, I'd have, the old thick woolly ones there ready to go, Shawnee Mac. Don't miss out for no socks.
Yep. Or what about the fishnets Sean wears under all of his clothes? Would they be okay?
I guess that's probably the last option, Nathan, but we'll take it if we have to.
It counts as a sock. Where will you be watching the big race today, Shorty?
I'll be at TAB headquarters in the radio studio there, screaming the place down for Without a Fight. Let's hope it can get the cash.
All right. Good man. Thanks for talking to us, Shorty.
Cheers, guys. Have a great Cup day.
All right.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Well, Australia back on the winning track when it comes to the T20 World Cup. Aaron Finch just leading Australia perfectly as he does as Australian captain, made 63. Pulled a bit of a hamstring though, and it seems like every time I sledge him, Natalie, and you're a big fan of this, he comes good.
Well, you were saying if he doesn't score runs in this match, then he should be dropped, blah, 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 and he did. So, but now he might, with the injury, he may not be playing anyway.
Yeah, Tim David's the other one who has a bit of a hamstring issue, but he seemed to have been able to field. Aaron Finch was had to come off.
Yeah.
So he's looking unlikely for the next match. I think they're off to Adelaide to play, but at least Australia's still alive in this T20 World Cup because we're hosting, and it'd be super embarrassing if we never got through to the next round.
So I'd be embarrassed.
We really need New Zealand to beat England, right? That's going to help a lot.
And New Zealand are great. They're in awesome form, so that can very much happen. And and then all of a sudden, Australia back in it. Nate, how's this going? Are you interested in this?
No. I was just sending an email. Literally. Sending an email. Anyway, what are we talking about? Cricket.
Yeah.
What else?
Australia's still alive. Well, we're going to move over to the basketball. I'm really concerned. Aren't you concerned about the Wildcats now? That's 4 straight.
They were woeful against Melbourne.
You know what?
Truly woeful.
We had a good run there for a while. didn't we? You know what? Every peak has to have a valley.
Yes.
And we're in the valley and we can't
the
get
valley's
up
getting
the
deeper.
hill.
we can't see where
We're
the
in
ladder
Grand
is.
Canyon of valleys.
They started well, like they started the season well, I should say, but they've fallen in a big hole now. And
It's unbelievable.
They're not getting enough from Brady Manick. They're not getting even Todd Blanchfield. Like we used to rely on him to hit threes, reliably, and he's not delivering that anymore.
Yeah, he's got a really big golf in his performance. So when he's playing well, Nat, he runs at 41% hitting 3-pointers. And then when he's he scores below 10 points, he runs at 20%, so 2 in 10, which is not good enough at NBL level. No way. And he does that regularly. So they haven't got the outside shooting game, they haven't got the inside game, and it's left to Bryce Cotton, and everyone just goes, oh, well, if Bryce scores is 25, it doesn't matter.
No, but
because we're going to outscore him anyway, collectively.
No, but you need more than 25 points to win a game, so you can't rely on Bryce. Do you know what I mean? They have to have other scoring alternatives, basically.
Yeah, I think Nordo needs to be more aggressive. He needs to be more aggressive and take it to the hole.
He's got
as
a
I've told him many
lip,
times.
Yeah.
He's worried that someone's going to flick his lip.
And
so.
I was watching the
That's
game
someone being you, Nate?
on the weekend where he did take it to the hole. He got absolutely monstered when he did that too on this particular
some big
occasion.
guys
It's like
in there.
all far out.
Well, if you're going to get monstered
He's
at the
only
hole, you
little.
wouldn't go back, would you?
That's right. Nathan knows.
He knows. The interesting thing about this, and you can draw a few, join the lines on the dots here, and Hutchie took over, Craig Hutchinson took over, and SEN Mob took over this club, and since then, they're the first time ever they did not make the finals.
First time in 35 years,
Yep, and they lost 8 out of their last 9 games, and so far this year, losing 4 in a row, including a couple at home, which we normally don't do.
No.
They're looking shaky.
Can a change like that really affect performance, Sean, from your experience in the world of football?
Yeah, it can, Nate. They always talk about the 4 pillars, and that would be, so from a football perspective, it's the president, the CEO, the
memory
football manager. Yes.
Oh, pillars.
So, and obviously the captain.
Oh.
There's now more. So the Wildcats used to have Jack at the top.
Yes.
They've always had a really strong CEO, but that's kind of changed in recent times as well, because I think a few guys have left.
There has been a bit of a clean out.
Been walked out.
Yep.
Yeah, the
New
coach.
Yep.
And then the captain, obviously, as well. But Jesse's been around for a long time.
2 new coaches in the last 2 years,
Yeah. So being unstable above it really does affect what goes on in the performance of the team out there. So hopefully they can turn it around
bounce
because
back.
they'll be under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, from you mainly, but yes.
Yeah.
And also me.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.